Nancy Staphylococcus! You can just tell by how she looks. She looks like a grape. Hello! How are you doing? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Peter. I'm your host today. We are doing another episode of Dr. Disney based on your all's requests, based on what you've been watching on the channel. Apparently you all really like the medical drama reactions because I can give it the medical perspective since I am a doctor, and I can give it the acting perspective and the story writing perspective because I also am in the world of entertainment as an actor. In college, I studied acting and pre-med. It's been, 2 years since I did the Grey's Anatomy and the Good Doctor, and those helped my channel blow up, and ever since then I've been pursuing Disney, and now it's time to get back into the roots to give you all what you've been asking for. Cells at Work, Episode 2. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Let's just start. Also, if you're new here, welcome to the channel. Please subscribe down below, click like, comment, and share. Tell me something that you would like me to react to. If we hit the like jackpot of 777 likes, which is my favorite number, 7 sets is the best number. If you disagree, you're wrong. I'll react to the top comment on this video, so if you would like me to react to something specific or a specific episode, please write it down below. I love reading your comments. I read every single one. Cells at Work, Episode 2, Scrape Wound. I think I'm the only doctor online who also has a real medical student reacts, because I just became a doctor this past April. I got my MD, which is great, but I have real medical student, I have real medical student reacts, and now I have real doctor reacts. This is my first real doctor, and I'm doing Cells at Work because a lot of you really love that video, and I want to, give back to you all for giving to me. I can only show snippets of this because of YouTube copyright, but if you would like to watch my entire reaction, it is up on Patreon. Please head over, and any level of support really helps out. I am so grateful, and it helps the channel grow, and it helps me pay off my loans. So thank you all so much. This is a one-man show, entirely directing, editing, posting, promoting, all of it is just me, my Lord and Savior. Thank you, Jesus. The tale as old as time. Do we do sub or dub? Let's do dub this time. We did sub last time. I don't know. Comment down below what you prefer, sub or dub. Oh, we get recaps. Okay.
24/7, and they all take their jobs very
this is
seriously.
the pneumococcus.
Let's see here.
It's so interesting that they have food. Such a funny... Platelets! Platelets! Heave ho! Heave ho!
They are so cute.
So, I'm gonna pause it here. I noticed that one of the comments I made in the last video was how, or what does the AE3803 mean on her hat? And a lot of you chimed in. I love that you all help answer the questions that each other have in the comments, and that I also have when I'm watching. It is part of the hex code, I believe, of how to get the red coloring of a red blood cell, which is really cool. I didn't know that you all, I don't know how you all find that information out, but it's really awesome. So thank you.
The absolute cutest. These are platelets. They're a type of fragmentary blood component. They aggregate wherever a blood vessel is damaged in order to clot and
That's
cover
how
the
you
wound.
get scabs.
Everyone, be super careful.
Every anime character. Don't fall, don't fall!
Things have been so peaceful in this blood vessel.
Oh. 3, 4. We are cells at work. 1, 2, 3, 4. We are cells at work. I didn't know they had it in English. What's you and so? Dun, 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 dun. Did you ever notice that anime intros ruin all the secrets? They let you know all the main characters from the very start. You've never even seen them yet, and they're just like, these are all the main characters.
This looks like the perfect place to wash the fibrin.
Fibrin is what they use to cover wounds. So fibrin is the last component in the coagulation cascade, which is how you clot blood. You get factor 12 into factor 11, it skips 10. Anyway, it works its way down off this pathway to coagulate blood, and the final product is fibrin.
You got that? Yes, ma'am.
I kind of like the subbing more.
It's always nice and peaceful in here. I suppose
She's jinxing it so hard.
This part of
the blood vessel is really close to the skin, even the slightest bit of trauma can have a huge...
Of course. I like their fanny packs.
Sometimes things can get...
Pierce, there's a scrape... Oh, it's called scrape wound. Me trying to be predictive. Animation can do anything it wants. What's her name? Do we even get her name? It's just red blood cell, right? Oh, because of the air. Of course, this guy.
I gotta run into you down here.
But I am so glad you did.
He sounds like Riku from Kingdom Hearts.
Seems kinda obvious.
Or Marluxia. Seems kind of obvious.
An abrasion. An injury formed when the skin is scraped, resulting in a wound no deeper than the epidermis.
Alright, so let's take this moment to... I think it's a commercial, right? No. Let's talk about skin. Let's talk about skin. Let's talk about skin, baby. Yeah. So skin has multiple layers. The highest layer is the epidermis, then you got the dermis, and then you have the subcutaneous layer. So the different layers have different components to them. The epidermis is basically the covering of the human body, and then it's like people are like, oh, your epidermis is showing. Like, oh no, stop looking. And then your dermis is what contains the hair, follicles, sweat glands, and nerve endings, and then your subcutaneous tissue is what houses the large blood vessels as well as fat.
The wound itself will get taken care of.
That's why they introduced the
Now
platelets.
we've got another problem.
Platelets, they're gonna come through now.
Get down!
Airborne, yeah, airborne germs.
So this is what it's like inside a human body.
Ooh, they look cool.
Right? I could get to like it here. Staphylococcus aureus.
Ooh.
A highly toxic antigen that commonly resides in the skin and pores. Should it enter the body, it can cause skin infections, food poisoning, pneumonia, meningitis, and more.
Wow. And sepsis. So that's really, really, really cool because it reminds me of something I learned in medical school, which is the concept of flora and how we all have bacteria already residing on our skin, which is just natural. We all have bacteria on and in our body, and they don't all cause infections because some of them are relegated to certain locations and they do their job in those locations. For example, the bacteria in our gut help us with digestion, and they're the ones that cause us to produce flatulence because they're like decomposing what we're eating. But the Staphylococcus aureus is one of the most toxic, like they said, bacteria that resides on our skin, and it actually can cause so many infections that's why you have to really clean the skin before doing surgery, because those natural things, it's not just airborne germs, it's anything that resides on the skin could enter the skin. So that's why you have to clean wounds with alcohol and make sure that you get deep into the wound to clean it out so that those naturally occurring bacteria don't cause infections in places where they're not naturally occurring. Ooh, look at this animation. Okay.
White blood cell!
Why is his name White Blood Cell? He looks like, you know,
What that jerk did? Let's
Roger.
take him out here and make him pay.
And she's a Beatrice, 100%. Or B. She'd be B.
Vasoconstriction. When a blood vessel becomes injured,
It clamps down so that...
Constricting.
Exactly. And the body is smart. When it notices that blood is leaking out from somewhere, it constricts the blood vessel, making it tighter so that less blood can get to the site so you're not losing as much, and it starts sending platelets and other factors there to start clotting the blood up so you can also limit the amount of blood that you're losing. The human body is so smart. It is so well put together. It's amazing that not all of us are, you know, constantly sick with the number of things that could go wrong in the human body. It's literally like the most orchestrated musical symphony. The human body. Okay, I'll stop.
Everybody get out of here right now!
Senpai! Why is her name Senpai? You look exactly like the pneumococcus.
Streptococcus pyogenes.
Oh.
A bacteria that resides in the throat, digestive organs, and skin.
So this is really smart. Oh man, this is something that you probably didn't notice while watching, but Staphylococcus is different from Streptococcus in the name, right? If you hear it, Staphylococcus, Streptococcus. Now, bacteria can take on different shapes. Coccus means circle, bacillus means rod, like it's a rod form, and then Bacillococcus or coccobacilli are round rods. These are Latin words. Staph in Latin means grapes or grape-like clusters, so I don't actually remember what the Staphylococcus bacteria looked like, but I'm going to assume when it comes back on screen it's going to look like it has clumps of grapes. Versus Streptococcus, strep is, I think of it like steps, you're taking different steps, so they're all connected with each other in succession. So there's circles in succession versus circles in grape clusters.
Pseudomonas.
Pseudomonas!
Common types of bacteria existing in natural environments, well known for proliferating infections.
I love how they don't even get into it. They're just like, this one's known for infections, and this one's known for infections, and this one's infections. Like, staph was the only one that they said lung infection and sepsis and all these different things. Pneumococcus is like, it's known for infections. Actually, let's see if they say anything more. No, they don't. Pseudomonas is actually really funny because it reminds me of special to me because in our school we had a professor who went up and was teaching us, and our curriculum was shifting, so the upperclassmen and my class were taking the class at the same time because the curriculum was shifting between the 2 years. So we all were sitting in the room with the professor, and the professor starts talking, and he's like, you know, it's basically like, it's like if you got Pseudomonas and you go on, and then he just goes on, he's talking, I'm sitting next to my friend, I'm like, scrolling through the slides, I'm like, what's a Pseudomonas? Did I miss something? And he's like, I don't know, man. Professor? And he's like, yes. Well, what's a Pseudomonas? And the professor just goes, oh, you're from the underclassmen. Oh yeah, you guys didn't take microbiome yet. Just memorize it. I was like, okay. But then I learned that it's a bacteria. I kind of like it, the name Pseudomonas. Actually, this would be a great time to have a message from our sponsor, Osmosis. 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 Yes, Osmosis is a medical education online tool that I personally used during medical school, and then they reached out and said, hey, we'd like to collab, and I was like, oh my goodness, I use your stuff all the time. So they actually have an online website as well as YouTube videos, and I'm going to link some of them down below. They are so well done. They're just little animations, about 5 to 10 minute video clips about the most important pathologies and physiologies, and they have such really cute animations that let you remember what's going on. On the online platform, you can upload your lectures, and then it like digests them down and lets you know what content on the site you should be using. It's good for medical students, for nurses, for PAs. It's just really well done. It's also, if you have a specific condition you're curious about, you can just type in YouTube what the name is, let's say asthma, and then type in osmosis and click enter, and then you'll learn what we learn on the medical school side of things. So it's really cool that it's also like available to the public. And on top of all of that, they are giving us 2 free 3-month subscriptions to their online website, and it's linked down below. Please click the link down below to join the contest. We will be picking 2 people at random to have access to Osmosis, which I think is such a lovely thing. Thank you all so much. The link down below is to Osmosis. They add a whole bunch of new tools, so please go check them out. They are wonderful. I never talk about things on this channel that I don't personally stand by, and Osmosis has helped me get through my lectures as well as get through my in-school exams and my national board examinations. Back to the video.
The venous valve governs the directional flow of blood, prevents blood from backing up, and ensures it flows one way through the vessels.
One of the things that stood out to me in learning about venous valves is especially the venous valves in our legs. And that's why people end up with clots called DVTs, deep vein thrombosis. The blood needs to be circulating. When the blood is not circulating enough, these clotting factors, it can start clotting on itself. But the thing that's really interesting about the specific veins in the leg are they're so low that gravity is also fighting against blood flow going back up through the inferior vena cava into the right atrium. So it needs to be compressed sometimes because the venous valves get more lazy and lax with age. So you need to be walking every day to cause the muscles around the valves to contract and actually mechanically squeeze the valves so that the blood can return back into the heart. And if you don't walk for a long time, you can have a risk of the blood clotting, and then if you start walking, those clots can then shoot up into your heart and then get sent to your lungs, and then you get a pulmonary embolism, which is really dangerous and can cause your lung tissue to die. So that's why we recommend to people who are going on flights to walk around every couple of hours so that the blood doesn't start to clot on itself, because that's really dangerous. Also, it's just important to walk 8,000 to 10,000 steps a day, as the American Cardiology Association would say. Poe, I didn't even know I can make a rhyme anytime. Did I mention you have detention? Let's go.
Time to die!
Time to die! Why straight at her? Oh. Some insignificant side character.
They're gonna die! Somebody point me to the abrasion!
I'll take a left.
Oh, that's easy.
They're like so gritty, but then they're still like personable. This guy's still alive. He must be. He's the main character. Does he bleed? That would be interesting.
You're pinned down with razor-sharp thorns. Just try.
What germ is that?
1146. Do you copy?
1146. Why is that important? Hey, commercial.
Cells at work.
Cells at work.
Cells at work.
Cells at work. He's less enthusiastic about it. I wonder if they're gonna show us on the human body how big this scrape wound is. That'd be cool for perspective.
Get to safety now.
Well, they're carrying food because they're carrying nutrients.
However,
Well,
Yeah, see Staphylococcus! You can just tell by how she looks. She looks like a grape.
Got some.
The
the draft.
platelets! Where are the platelets? Aren't they doing their job?
Keep your L-selectin on!
L-selectin? Oh my goodness, is that what they use to like adhere to the wall? It's like L-selectin and P-selectin. They're receptors on the cells that allow them to hold on. I think I talked about it in the last Cells at Work video. I'm pretty sure I talked about how there's like L-selectin, P-selectin, and it just uses it to roll across the red blood cell wall so it can stick.
Are they now?
I like the scorpion-like
You neutrophils are pretty pathetic.
neutrophils.
After just to protect the other cells. But when you're the one facing
Who
peril,
protects
not
you?
a single one of your friends comes to defend you.
Mm.
Especially after I heard a certain pneumococcus perished because he failed to case the joint.
She talking about your brother? Yeah.
I've done all the research. I know that you neutrophil brutes are always
Bacteria.
first on the scene to combat any kind of bacterial invasion. And I know that the big guns, the macrophages and monocytes,
Oh, she's a macrophage. Oh.
tend to arrive fashionably late.
Macrophages and monocytes engulf bacteria and destroy them.
Whereas the lymphocyte brigade
Lymphocyte
doesn't even bother to
viruses.
show up. I do that, and this world will surrender to me!
Wow, she did do her homework. Here's your MD. The platelets, where are they? Platelets!
I don't mean macrophage or a monocyte. Not a killer
Killer
T
cell
cell
or B
not
cell.
even a B.
B cell make
I'm
antibodies.
talking about the strongest cell. True professionals who can turn the tide in mere seconds. They're that powerful.
Platelets.
No fighting. Be nice and cooperate.
Okay.
And make sure you use your GP1B so you don't fall out of the wound.
GP1B? Oh my lord, it's been so long. I don't remember that. Functions as a receptor for von Willebrand factor. Oh yes! Von Willebrand factor. That's what allows the platelet to stick to the vessel wall. Von Willebrand factor. Wow, GP1B. Oh my goodness, it's been so long. How have you been?
Did everyone bring their coagulation factors?
Yes, told you, coagulation factors.
Cover those platelets at all costs!
Where'd they all get their knives again?
Clot complete! Hooray! Once activated by a binding protein
Wow, they
referred
put in
to as the
Schwerk.
von Willebrand factor, platelets aggregate and adhere to one another in order to close a wound.
Von Willebrand factor? Oh my lord. So, this is an interesting representation of how clotting works. However, to be very nuanced about it, it's not that they would create stuff to clot. They would hold on to each other and be the expanse of this scrape wound. You know, the platelets themselves sacrifice themselves or are part of the clot. It's not that they just make a blanket. They are the clot. So it's like, imagine all these little kids holding hands as a blanket. That's what it would look like. But I get what they're going for. It's very smart. Also, are platelets cells? I don't think they are. Yeah, they're not cells. They're fragments of cells. Because the white blood cells, like, they're the most powerful cell of all. I'm like, man, I don't think they're actually cells. They're just, like, parts of cells. I'm really digging the villain design.
It's real good to see you made it, 4989.
Yeah, I guess I did.
That's me.
And only with a couple of scratches.
Scratches. They even broke the fourth wall.
Just ignore that.
We were useless, so the least I can do is properly thank you.
You're not useless, though.
You're not useless. You saved us today. What I mean is the bodies of blood cells like us get used to plug that hole. It's called secondary hemostasis.
Oh, snap!
Sounds like work!
Fine with some tea.
In only a few short days, this clot will dry up and become a scab.
Oh, they... It's so interesting that they don't have the ending song in English, but they have the intro song in English. So I really enjoyed this. Man, I missed this show. I did the first reaction a while ago, and I've been looking through videos that you all really enjoyed because I want to do things that you all enjoy. That was Season 1, Episode 2 of Cells at Work, Scrape Wound. Let's talk about it. Just in the arts perspective, I really prefer the dubbed versus... Sorry, whoa, no, I prefer the subbed versus the dubbed. The dubbed just seems like it's very breathy. Subbed, from what I remember, was a lot more passionate in the speaking. I am interested to hear your thoughts about sub versus dub. Anyway, in terms of the medical content, this was a very smart way to talk about scrape wounds. I wish the one thing that it was missing, you know, it talked about von Willebrand's factor and GP1B and the clotting cascade, although they didn't go into... So there's two different types. There's like primary hemostasis, which is the platelets, and there's secondary hemostasis, which is the coagulation cascade. The thing that I wish they did was to give us an outside look at the human body, and I said that also in my last video. Please don't spoil if they do or don't show the human body eventually in this show. I think it would make it really smart to eventually show it, maybe at the end of Season 1. However, I do think that it would be really cool to like show the scrape wound on the human body so that we can at least get a sense of, like, a little paper cut, was it a gash? The animation is just really amazing. I hope you learned something today about the difference between, especially how they look, Staphylococcus versus Streptococcus. Remember, coccus is Latin for circle and round and spherical, and strep is what? Steps. So they align in a straight pattern, versus Staphylococcus, which is the Latin word staff, means grape-like clustering, so they are looking like a grape-like vine. Peter Editing, please animate a grapevine right here in my hand. That's what it would look like for staph versus strep. This is what they actually look like in real life. So that's really cool. I hope you learned something today. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a like down below. It really helps me to know that you enjoyed the content, as well as to tell YouTube to promote it in front of other people who might be interested. Please subscribe, comment down below your favorite moment from this episode, as well as something else you'd like me to react to. I read every single comment. Join the family, and I will see you next time. And as always, be safe, be strong, be swagged. God bless you, and I will see you in the next video. You can watch some more right now after these bloopers. Take care, bye! Oh, also, please wear your mask. The white blood cell and the red blood cell would want you to do that too. Alright, that was... Okay, bye! Hey you! Welcome back to the channel. Also, before we start, I just want to say something really funny. I've been noticing that more and more doctors have been joining YouTube, which is incredible. I totally am a huge proponent about people creating and being artistic and creative. However, I find it so funny that a bunch of doctors exclusively create content in their scrubs at home, and it's just a funny little gimmick to me, because it's like, we don't have to look like, you know, doctors that you would see in a hospital when we're in the comfort of our own home. As someone who is super passionate about education and entertainment and marrying the two together, especially medicine and arts, which sometimes can be on the two opposite sides of the spectrum to most people, but really they're more unified than we give them credit for. It's so funny to me to see a bunch of doctors joining the YouTube sphere and creating content exclusively in their scrubs. We can dress normal, you know, we dress normally at home, in the hospital, the white coat is being a forgotten thing now. Nurses, nurse practitioners, dentists, PAs, everyone wears white coats now. So it's just, I'm a huge proponent about just looking normal, being a doctor, and your professional standard is just offering compassionate and competent care, and it doesn't matter what you look like. The doctor is who you are inside, not how you dress. Of course, my laptop is heating up. I went to Mac before I bought this laptop 5 years ago, when I was starting medical school, and I was like, hey, I'd like a laptop that can video edit and not heat up on itself, and they're like, yeah, this one. I was like, yeah, but I just want to make sure it doesn't heat up. They're like, this one, this one, this one. And it's actually, like, statistically the slowest laptop for video editing. So it's just, like, great, you know, part of my life.
You are the answer I waited for all of my life. Oh, show yourself. Let me see who you are.
Hello?